number 7 was Chris Jericho versus Edge for the World Heavyweight title. And I don't know what happened in this one. Whether it was because the match before was so bad. That's my theory on that one. The crowd just went completely flat for this. Like, when Edge and Jericho were entering, they just were dead. For the first, like, 5, maybe 10 minutes of the match, they just didn't seem to react at all, so I don't really know what happened. But, yeah, this match, again, I was, like, obviously, like, looking forward to this one, but it just kind of went flat, and it just didn't really do anything for me, to be honest. This match was kind of back and forth, and not really one of them had like the kind of clear-cut advantage in it. YJ gets like thrown in, like, out of the ring, then he like kind of goes a bit too far and like hits his head on the announce table, I think. Edge dives off the apron onto Jericho on the outside. He hits I think it used to be called the Edge-O-Matic, I think, off the top rope. So that was alright. He goes to the walls of Jericho, that gets countered. Yeah, the Codebreaker gets countered. Then Edge goes for the spear, but that gets countered into the walls of Jericho. Edge moves out of the way when Jericho tries to do a lion salt. Hits the execution. YJ goes for a spear of his own, but Edge hits a big boot. That looked really, like, whoa, it really looked like he actually hit, like, Jericho, like, right in the face. Edge goes for the spear, but YJ hits the Codebreaker. He locks on the walls of Jericho, because he, like, basically, Jericho was working on Edge's, obviously, the bit where he tore his Achilles tendon, so Jericho was working on that. He locks on the walls with Jericho and then turns it into like a single leg Boston Crab. And there's like the ref gets bumped, and then Jericho hits Edge with the title belt, so that only gets a 2 count, and then Jericho hits the Codebreaker for the win. So I was actually really shocked, because I really thought Edge was going to win. So why didn't I predict Jericho? Oh, seriously, my predictions are terrible this. But yeah, so it was an alright match. But then after, Edge set like Jericho up on the announce table on the outside, and then Edge got on the Spanish announce table and like speared Jericho off the announce tables like through the barricade. That looked like it really hurt Jericho. You can see like how like Jericho's like head and neck just like jogged like backwards. But it was like a nice spot, but it looked like really painful. So that match was like okay. It was just I just couldn't really get into it. Just I don't know. Maybe a 3 for that one. Something like that. Match number 8 was just horrible. The 10 Diva Tag Team match. Oh, it was just bad. Like, all of Beth Phoenix team attacked Vicky Guerrero. Michelle McCool hits the face breaker on Kelly. They all kind of did like their kind of finishing moves, but it was just going too fast, and I didn't want to watch it again to like, you know, work out which moves actually happened. Vicky Guerrero does, well, her version of the frog splash, which the commentators named the hog splash, on Kelly for the win. So yeah, that was just bad. That's going to get like a 1 star as well. So match number 9 was Batista versus John Cena for the WWE title, and again this match was alright. John Cena's entrance was just weird. Like last year, like the entrance, it was actually kind of like at least it was like good, but this one the crowd just was like booing because it was like really boring. But yeah, Cena gets like the knockdown. Batista just punches and kicks. The attitude adjustment gets reversed into a DDT, but that looked like really, like it really hurt like Cena's neck. That kind of did not go correctly. Batista has the advantage for a while. He does a neck breaker. Cena fights back with his usual moves of 2 knockdowns, a spin out powerbomb. And Cena does a 5-knuckle shuffle, but it gets turned into a spine buster. Cena locks on the STF. Batista hits a spear. Cena knocks Batista off the top rope and hits a 5-knuckle shuffle, but he actually missed Batista's head by a mile, so it looked like terrible. He hits the attitude adjustment, but that only gets a 2 count. Batista catches Cena off the top rope and hits a powerbomb, supposedly, but it failed. It just looked terrible. But then Cena gets the STF for the win. Batista taps out. So Cena is the new WWE champion. So that was another one of my predictions that was right. So that was good. That match really wasn't that great, to be honest. Maybe like 2.5, 2 3/4, something along those lines. And then the main event was Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker. And yeah, obviously I was really looking forward to this match. They built it up so much, but it actually didn't live up to the hype, which obviously a lot of people did say that they thought that it wasn't going to. They should have just left it as HBK and Undertaker last year. I mean, it was still a good match, but it just didn't like live up to like last year's match at all. Undertaker has the advantage to start with. He does a snake eyes and a big boot. He hits the old school. HBK, but then I think when Undertaker hits the old school, he kind of like lands awkwardly and like he like injures his like knee. So HBK works on like Undertaker's knee. Undertaker hits a leg drop on the apron. HBK does lock on the figure 4 leg lock, but Undertaker manages to counter out of it. HBK like does a knockdown and does the kip up, but then Undertaker turns it into a choke slam, but that only gets a 2 count. He goes to a pile driver, but HBK manages to reverse it into an ankle lock. HBK dives off the apron, but Undertaker catches him and does the tombstone pile driver on the outside, which was nice. Shawn Michaels was a diving elbow, but it gets countered with Undertaker's knees. Undertaker locks on the Hell's Gate, but it gets reversed. Shawn Michaels hits a Sweet Chin Music, but that only gets a 2 count. Undertaker hits the Last Ride, but that only gets a 2 count. Throws HBK on the outside, and Undertaker goes to lash ride Shawn Michaels through the table, but HBK counters and hits the sweet chin music, and there's a really awesome spot where Shawn Michaels steps up Undertaker on the announce table and does like a moonsault off the top, and even though he only actually really hit Undertaker's legs, it still looked really awesome, and it's just, oh, that was like an awesome spot. He hits the sweet chin music again, that still only gets a 2 count, and then Undertaker hits a choke slam and a tombstone pile driver, but HBK manages to kick out, and then he does another tombstone pile driver and actually wins the match. So I was like gutted because I really wanted Shawn Michaels to win, but after the match, Undertaker, you know, got up and like shook like HBK's hand and whatever, and like showed like respect and stuff. So obviously Undertaker left, and then it was just finished with like obviously HBK in the ring, and like the crowd were like giving him like standing ovation and stuff, and he was just like saying like goodbye and stuff. He was like crying, and it's like, oh, I really don't want HBK to go. I hope this doesn't actually mean his career's over. I hope he'll still like stick around because he's like really awesome. But yeah, so that match I probably give maybe about a 4 maybe for that one, because it was actually a good match. So yeah, so that was cool. So overall, I probably would give the pay-per-view about a 5.5 to a 6. Probably 6 is a bit lenient, but you know, it's WrestleMania. So yeah, so it was an alright pay-per-view. It didn't really live up to the hype, like I said, but you know. But yeah, so that was my WrestleMania review. So thanks for watching. I'll be back either tomorrow or Wednesday for my Raw review. I found out that I actually got a full-time job this morning, so I was so tired. Obviously, I was still in bed, like when my manager phoned, and it was like at 12 o'clock, and I was like still sleeping, so I had to like wake myself up before I spoke on the phone. So that's going to maybe make it a bit more difficult for me to do Raw and SmackDown reviews, but I'm sure I'll work out like something anyway. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!